Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the Misfortune Bringer Rogue subclass mod made by Havsglimt. This is an awesome one. You get different types of misfortunes you can apply on the enemy, which basically curses. You can steal their luck. There's a lot of different unique subclass features here, which I'll be breaking down in this video. As you can see there's a lot. So first off, we'll be starting off as the rogue, and for our ability scores, we do need charisma for our spellcasting abilities here. So we're going to go with 16 charisma, 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 intelligence, and wisdom. Level 2 gives us our bonus actions hide, disengage, and dash, which are just great to have, but it's once we hit level 3 that we get to take our subclass with the Misfortune Bringer. So whether your mom was a hag, by spending time among the Fae, or by learning the art of cursing for a long line of hedge wizards before you, you were imbued with magical powers used to mark your enemies for mishaps and misfortune. So you get to choose misfortunes, which I'll get into. You get 4 jinx points you can use spend by cursing creatures marked by your evil eye feature. You gain additional 2 jinx points when you reach the 12th level. We also get the Misfortunist. You learn the ability to cast curses on targets that are marked by your evil eye. You also learn additional curses at higher levels, and each time you level up, you replace one misfortune you know with one that you don't. And what I think is coolest about this is the evil eye. It doesn't actually break or enter combat, so you can apply this before you even get into combat. It makes your character stare at them. So with the evil eye, you place a minor curse on a target with a glance. A creature marked by your evil eye can be targeted by your misfortunes, and you can use your sneak attack against a creature, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll, but not if you have disadvantage. So applying the evil eye is almost like just being a swashbuckler rogue and their rakish sneak attacks there. So here's the misfortunes. I'll go through them all. Curse of the Befuddled. You can use your evil eye as an action. You can spend 2 jinx points to charm the creature, and the charm ends if you or an ally deal damage to it. Clumsy. You can, a creature moves 1.5 meters or more, you can use your reaction to spend 3 jinx points to cause it to fall prone and have its movement speed reduced to 0. There's the debilitated there. You can make the target take an additional 1 to 12 necrotic damage whenever it takes damage. And the Curse of the Doomed. If you miss a weapon attack roll against a target, you can use a reaction and spend 1 jinx point to make an additional attack against a target as part of the same action. Curse of the Fearful. You can spend 2 jinx points to frighten the target, which reduces their movement speed and makes it so they can't use their actions, or disadvantage on attack rolls, I should say. When you do, the creature is no longer marked by your evil eye, and they must make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each turn. Curse of the Inept. Whenever a target makes an attack roll, you can use a reaction to impose disadvantage on the roll. The Curse of the Insensate. Whenever you as an action, you can expend 3 jinx points to blind the creature, and then they make a constitution saving throw at the end of each of their turns to stop that. This one will maim the target. The Curse of the Maim. Whenever you hit it with a weapon attack, the result was an 18 or a 19. Use your reaction to turn it into a critical hit, so basically a plus 10% critical hit chance there. Curse of the Plagued. Whenever the target is being healed with a spell, you can use your reaction to reduce the total hit points of the target by twice this level, and they're no longer cursed by their evil eye. And it makes it so they can't recover health points until the start of your next turn. Curse of the Ruined. After making a saving throw, you may use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the roll. Curse of the Somnolent. As an action, you may spend 3 jinx points to curse the target, and they take their current health points are equal to less than a number of d10s, equal to your class level plus 15 if it falls asleep. And the target remains consciousness whenever it takes damage. And the calculated values for the hit points are based on average rolled values for a d10 dice. And the Curse of the Unlucky. As a bonus action, you spend 3 curse points to curse a target. Whenever they make a saving throw or attack roll, it's reduced by 1d4, so kind of like giving them Bane. And yeah, these are 2 really useful different options here. So they do take an action, so it's not always going to be the best choice to go with some of these. But that's just the thing. The Rogue is not going to be the most powerful class, but you can still be pretty strong with this. You're also able to change your misfortunes at any level. Level 4, dexterity increase, or the alert feed. Both of those are great choices. Uncanny Dodge. You only take half damage from physical attacks. That's really nice. Gives you a lot more survivability. Level 6, you can take or you can change your misfortunes at any time. You also get to take skill proficiencies here. Deception and intimidation are great if you're the face of the party, especially since we're charisma based. We now get evasion, so we take half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, and no damage if we succeed on the saving throw. So spells much less likely, or very much less likely to damage us. Level 8 gives us another feat here, and this is, again, an increase our dexterity, and we're going to get one at level 10, so we can use that for the alert feat. Level 9 gives us the Steal Luck. When an enemy makes an attack roll or saving throw with advantage, you can remove advantage for the roll. When you do, you regain an expended jinx point. This is pretty cool, because, yeah, getting rid of advantage and also benefiting yourself is pretty effective. We're also going to take 2 more of the jinx or the misfortunes here. I like the curse of the debilitated as well, and the curse of the insensate is nice to be able to apply blind on a target. Again, these do use your action, so there's something you want to consider before you use them. At this point, level 10 feet, we'll take the alert for the +5 to our initiative. At level 11, we get the reliable talent. Whenever we make a skill check with an ability we're proficient in, the lowest we can roll is a 10. We'll also be doing a level 20 build here too. So at level 12, you get to take 2 more of the misfortunes here. So the charm is okay. I actually think that some of the better options like Curse of the Plagued and even Curse of the Ruined, which is nice, give disadvantage on that as well. And for the feat, we could go, there's a few good ones, like Dual Wielder if we want to use some heavier weapons, although the Rogue is great with just lighter weapons. You can also go with the Savage Attacker to reroll your damage die. Even something like Sharpshooter if you want to use hand crossbows as well. And hand crossbows with Crossbow Expert as well is actually pretty strong. But we also have some other options like the Tough Feat if we're going to level 20, which will give us 40 extra health, 2 per level. Moderately Armored will also give us medium armor proficiency, which could be useful. Lucky also kind of makes sense here. You can get 3 luck points to gain advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws, which is pretty useful, or make enemies reroll their attack rolls. I think a good choice though is Sharpshooter. Bows are going to be one of our best damage options, and we can do a ranged sneak attack after we mark with Evil Eye. And once we get level 13, we get the Curse Caster. Once you can use an action to spend 3 Jinx points to cast the Bestow Curse spell. Charisma is a spellcasting modifier, so again, being able to bestow a curse on a target, disadvantage on ability checks, saving throws, or attacks. Not the best spell, but it's something, and the theme of this build is to debuff the enemies. Level 14, Blind Sense, you can locate any hidden or invisible chest. That's a feature of the Rogue once you hit level 14 with the expanded level mod. Proficiency in Wisdom saving throws, Slippery Mind, that's really good. Wisdom saving throws are things like Command and Hold Person, which we don't want to get hit with because those can end our runs. And level 16, we get another feat. Now, I took the Sharpshooter feat. A good one to go with is a Crossbow Expert, so you can do close range attacks. That's going to be one of our best ways to deal damage if you want to do damage. Arrow of many targets, piercing damage, Ballast Armor, doubles the damage. Now we have the improved Steel Luck. You can now use your Steel Luck feature 3 times before requiring a short or long rest. We're also going to take 2 more of the curses, so I guess we can go with the one that puts them to sleep and the maimed one there, turning hits into critical hits. Level 18 gives us the Elusive. You're so evasive that attackers rarely gain the upper hand against you. No attack roll has advantage against you while you aren't incapacitated. And it's currently non-functional, but that's a feature that will likely get added with the unlocked level curve mod down the road. Level 19, we get another feat here, so at this point you could go with the Dual Wielder feat if you really wanted to use something a little bit crazier, but we're going to want to use bows with the Crossbow Expert and the Sharpshooter benefits, so then we could even add in, not that Savage Attack will work because that's on melee attack rolls, but that could be good if you were focused more on melee attacks, and then you could even use like the Finesse Polearm there to deal a little extra damage. So I think Tough, just giving us extra health. The Rogue can be extremely tanky at this point because they take half spell damage, half physical damage, and then level 20, you can just change out your Misfortune. So this gives us actually a pretty powerful sneak attack because I typically never go this high in the Rogue, but this now has the plus 10d6 on our sneak attack. So yeah, that is pretty strong. And make sure to have all your reactions on for both the subclass and your sneak attacks because having a sneak attack reaction just gives you a huge boost to your damage. So always make sure that these are checked off just to make sure you do get the maximum amount of damage out of your attacks. Also for outfit, I'm using the Kiss of the Scourge set by Azazel Was Taken, Moon Blossom here. Moon Blossom made it ported by Azazel Was Taken. So yeah, that's the outfit that I currently have on my character. I know I'll get some questions about it, so I'll always try to cover that in the videos. As far as gear goes, the Mask of Soul Perception is going to be a great choice late game. Although early game, you can go with the Helmet of Arcane Acuity to land your shots a little bit more freely. Haste Helm is another good Act 1 item that gives you additional movement speed. Now, the Deathstalker Mantle, if you're the Dark Urge, is the best cloak. There's not really many cloaks in this game. Shade Slayer Cloak, while hiding, the number you need to reduce hit a critical hit is reduced by 1. You do have to hide for that to work, so the Cloak Protection can be a good option as well. Now, we also got the Ballast Armor. This is a good way to apply vulnerability to piercing damage so we can deal additional damage. And we also get a +2 to our initiative, dyed with the AO die from Favoring Colors. It looks really nice on this, so that's the best in slot, likely, because piercing damage is just going to be our sneak attack, so that can take our 79 damage and double it, and the ranged sneak attack damage and double it, so really good. Helldust Gloves will add additional damage. You can even go with the Dark Justiciar Gauntlets here to give additional necrotic damage. Really the best available. We do have the Gloves of Balance hand, even though we kind of already get that benefit here, so not a massive change. So yeah, you can even use the Wondrous Gloves to increase your armor class by 1, but I think the Helldust Gloves just additional fire damage helps us, and also the spell save DC. And the Boots of Stormy Clamor, if we're going to use Arrow of Many Targets, this will stack Reverberation really easily, especially with the Illithid ability Drain. Amulet of Greater Health just gives us 263 health, so we survive like crazy. Killer Sweetheart, extra crit, we want that. And Ring of Protection, then I also use the Hellfire Hand Crossbow and Fire Stoker for our close range crossbow attacks. And then we also got the Rhapsody Blade there to increase our attack rolls and damage. You could also go with something like the Dolar Amaris, because that'll boost our critical hit damage. So if you didn't want to go with, if you didn't want to use something like the shield there, which will give us increased armor class, we could even go with like Knife of the Undermountain King on our main hand, and then the offhand, the Dolar Amaris for increased critical hit damage, or something like the Rhapsody again for that. But I like the Knife of the Undermountain King to give advantage with its Shadow Blade ability. So 20 AC or 23 if we're using a shield. Not the crazy highest, but we got evasion and the ability to take half physical damage, so we're pretty tanky. The nice thing again is the Evil Eye can be applied before you even start off in combat, so that's something we can use to give ourselves that extra early game benefit, especially if we want to target like a spellcaster, so you can use your Evil Eye to stare at them. They failed the save, so then they got the Evil Eye applied for 10 turns. So that is our target. We can use that free sneak attack on them to just make sure that we do hit them and get that extra damage in. But the nice thing about this is you get to do this outside of combat. So our Evil Eye is marking this target here. So this is our first target that we want to go for. The sneak attack adding a 10d6 of piercing damage is pretty crazy. And we get that free attack because they're marked with our Evil Eye. And we have a 95% hit chance on them. So that's good. We're going to use that for that free crit. 14 hit. We rolled 22. We don't even use it. Yeah. Boom. 57 damage. Didn't even have the Ballast Armor set up there. Now we turn invisible because of the Deathstalker Mantle. So then we can go in. And what we can also do is then set up our Evil Eye on another target. So finding the next most valuable target, boom, found them right here. Unfortunately, sneak attacks are per turn. I have haste on my character to showcase this build a little bit better. The extra attack, the Rogue doesn't get that. So that's really, I don't love the Rogue, I'll be honest with you guys. So Arrow of Many Targets is going to be our best friend here to hopefully take out our next target. The thing with the Arrow of Many Targets is that's going to hit multiple targets. And unfortunately, my game is broke. Oh, got it to work there. So boom, Arrow of Many Targets. Actually, Arrow of Many Targets didn't work. Never mind. But we took out our target, so that was nice. And the one problem with the Rogue is they're very underwhelming when it comes to combat, so that provides some risk for us. But one nice thing about the Evil Eye is I guess it'll stack the Reverberation from our Boots of Stormy Clamor. We want to... Arrow of Many Targets is really going to be our only damage option. For some reason, my game is bugged where it won't let me actually use arrows, so that's unfortunate because that's our really only damage option that we got. But we can't... we don't have disadvantage against the target. That's weird, but I guess because we're surrounded by targets right here, this gives us some difficulties. So yeah, we could go with, I guess, any of these curses here. We can apply them on the enemy there. The Curse of the Somnolent, put them to sleep. So that's nice. They still have the Evil Eye on them. Again, I'll say it. The Rogue is a little bit underwhelming in terms of the amount of damage that they can output. So I'm just going to give myself multiple actions here to be able to showcase this a little bit better, since this would end up being a really long video, me testing and trying to get everything to work right. But somehow we have advantage here. I'm not sure, but we'll go with it. So our one sneak attack there, 210 damage. That's actually a pretty crazy attack roll. So that's the beauty of having the Ballast Armor, is it can actually double up your damage, making it hit really hard. But the only downside is you can only get the Ballast Armor on one of your characters, and you have to be in close range for it to actually work. Really upset with the Ballast Armor not actually applying here, unfortunately for us. But you can see there, close range crossbow attacks with the Sharpshooter benefit, and then also having our Ballast Armor on is going to be one of the best sources of damage. At longer range, you can see there, it doesn't do as much damage. That was still more than enough to take them out, though. So yeah, that's the thing. I just gave myself multiple actions to show off the attacks there. But our special abilities here to give 1d4 negative to their attack roll, that's not worth using an action on. And we only have 3 Jinx points that refresh for short rest. So this is more so one if you were playing with friends, one to really play this subclass. It's not going to be that strong when we got things like the Sword Bard in the game. And the enemies will shove each other to wake each other up. So that's something you got to watch out for, is they got ways around our tricks. So yeah, we put them to sleep, but they woke up, so that kind of sucks, because then it used up our entire action. They only used a bonus action to shove them, and they're awake now. So there are some shortcomings that come with a class that doesn't have a high offensive action economy like the Rogue. That's why I typically say the Rogue's one of the worst classes, as it does have its limitations. The gameplay loop for this, though, is applying the Evil Eye on a target, and then using your sneak attack against them. That's going to be the best damage if you don't want to use your other abilities. You should use the other abilities, but they're not going to be super strong. So I guess we could probably, for some reason, you can do advantage sneak attack there. Boom. 212 damage. Again, rogue sneak attacks scale really crazy if you have the level 20 mod, but they can only do one sneak attack. So they're really good on a, you know, a single target attack. But when it comes to multiple targets, they do have something left to be desired there. So I guess really the best thing is to get in close, use your piercing damage to take out the enemies as best you can. It's going to mind break us probably. Oh no, we're good. So yeah, just go in close range. That's the thing with our ballast armors. You really, oh, we got them knocked prone. The aura of murder actually will apply reverberation. And crossbow attacks are going to give us our best damage because of sharpshooter adding a +10, and this will double it to a +20. So yeah, that is the Misfortune Bringer Rogue. Not the strongest class in the game, but hey, it's a fun flavor on the Rogue with its different misfortunes you can apply on the enemies. Let me know your thoughts though. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I hope you have an incredible day. We'll see y'all in the next video.